Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first, and I'm seeing double here. A lot of duplicates. I think feigner is fine, yep. Now, I have the like component of a word. This is a slightly better rack. Lichen as a 5. Fan-like as not a bingo, but one way to score, 28. I don't see a 7 here. Opponent scores well with the X. Nothing for going above NU. And pretty tight otherwise. Now I do have what do I have? I have elk. I have ankle, but that doesn't quite work here. So what about elk? I don't like the double N, but I'm not seeing great scoring opportunities. The other option would be link. $24, better rack leave. Elk, yeah, I think I will go for the, no, 27 versus 24, but a better rack leave here. I'm going with the better rack leave. There you go. That's a better looking rack. I can see a few 8s with the right floater. Not sure if there's a 7. C Robin through an R. And baronies. What about extensions from X? That's likely to be taken. That spot. Oh, it's not taken. So I suppose I have... Well, I don't have a bingo. Not one that I can see anyway. ISO, I have the ISO prefix. Just not seeing it. Now, I've got Beano for 24. Yeah, I think I'll go with Beano. Not a great pickup, but the duplicates are back, yeah, so I have the ISO prefix again. The O floater doesn't help. The N isn't bad because it gives me the shin ending, S-I-O-N. But that doesn't seem to yield an 8-letter play. I do have an S for playing above or below axe. Opponent scores well. I have shoe here. Doesn't take an S, but there is a floater. That's a 30-point play. I really hope I'm not missing a bingo here. Looking at some fancy underlap. Pizio or something like Pizio. No, there's something similar to that, but I'm not quite remembering it. I think shoe looks okay for rack balance. It sorts out the duplicates and it scores well. Op times, that's a bingo straight off the bat. 76. Haji takes an S, so I should be bingoing, and Axe takes an S, so I'm definitely bingoing. Best spot would be row 12 because it gets doubled. Actually, a pity shoe doesn't take an S, otherwise op times would have played beautifully underneath the Q, U, E and shoe. Shoe is an interjection. I'm almost sure it doesn't take the S, but I'll just... Yeah, I didn't think so. Now, he has also blocked that spot. The AH hook. Haji's and the Axe still good. Nub also takes an S. So op times still plays with nubs, but I'm quite liking the underlap. If I can get my M or P to play under the U. I have the miss prefix. I can't move the tiles around. Mispost. That doesn't really help. Well, op times and Hadji's looks okay. 83. That's not a bad pickup. Dainted. Detained through an E. Ouch. 75-point play. Pretty much cancelled out my bingo. Now I have the shin ending, T-I-O-N. That doesn't help. Addition. If I had the E as an I. Zoic takes an A. Doesn't really help me. Tained. Dandy. Don't know if you can... You can't spell dandy like that. dined. 27. Not great. I draw only consonants and okay, I have mast, and I don't think there'll be anything much better. 40. I'll keep the extra S. Engulfs, but not engulps. Plunges. Don't think feigner takes an S. EY, no good. Nub and plunges would work. Splunged, nope. Hopefully opponent doesn't interfere with row 11. Feigner. I don't think it takes an S. Feigners, possibly. It would be a better placement, I think, than the nubs hook, because that gives back easy score to opponent. That's 71. That's 76. Just 5 points difference, but a massive... There could be a word ending in PY. I'm actually going for the lower score. If feigners is good. Yes, it is. Not a bad draw. I've got the ing ending, so hooding. Holding, holdings, doesn't fit. Nub takes an S. Does this rack form a bingo with a blank as an S? Dongish, no. Hongied, I think, is good, but doesn't play anyway. Nub doesn't take an E. No, that's nab. Takes an E. Okay. Opponent bingos. Tripwire. Now, what am I going to do? Hongied. Yes, it does play here. So that was a 98-point power play. I don't think there's a front hook for Hongied. Awful rack here, but if opponent doesn't bingo now, I might be in the clear. I'll have to block any bingo lane. This U and this N would be the most useful, so I'll be looking to block those if opponent doesn't bingo now. I guess the nub, well, there are no S's to come, so he's got one last shot at bingoing through these floaters, otherwise I'm killing them. How best to do that? Uvula is good. Vulva is good. Vuln would score next to nothing, but it would achieve the aim of killing off these two floaters, the U and the N. Six tiles in the bag. Opponent might create another bingo lane. How would he do that though? Maybe a two-letter play above the R, like double O, and then he can hook on there. That's a possibility. There's a lot of letters that go in front of double O. that's what I would do if I was aiming to bingo. Braw is good. Just looking at ways of scoring. Okay, opponent scored quite well with Rory. Still needs a bingo to win. But does Vuln achieve... Oh, I don't have the N. I have to play on to the N. I think I really do have to play here to kill these two floaters. And I don't think there's a bingo opportunity on this bottom left quadrant. So I'll kill off the lane here, Vuln for 7. And I'll draw a couple of vowels. Etiolate. Etiolate through an E. He needs an E for etiolate. No E available. Now there is a bingo lane here for bingos ending in A, but I can't see that happening. What to do with this remaining set of 6 tiles? I have Cove, C-O-V-E and E-R. Now Orc is good, and Orb is good, as is... There's some underlapping potential here, but I'd like to get rid of at least 2 of these 3 heavier tiles. ABC is good from an A. Opponents played where I would have. So my attention is drawn now to the hook for raw, craw, and braw. Suppose cob would be a, or even across the top. What about through the eye? Oh, breathe is good. That's going to be best. Gets rid of 2 of the heavyweights and scores well. And opponent should go out with toil or lito. Or is it Loti? L-O-T-I. If opponent doesn't go out, then I'll have chord there, or ecod is good. Nah, can't get rid of the C and the O there. Eco is fine, so I'm definitely going out. Core or eco or rock. So core would be the optimal play, I think. Otherwise, yeah, I think core should do it. Opponent just thinking about an outplay with ILOT and low tie. Does that play anywhere? LOTI. I don't think it does. Maybe there's an extension to mast. No. Yeah, just doesn't look like there's much out there. And opponent plays lot. Does that give me anything? Nope. So I'll go out with rock or eco, same score. And that's the end of the game. 461 to 415. Thank my opponent. Let's see what we missed. Back to the beginning. Feiner looks fine for 24. And then opponent spots the top play there for 28. Nice underlap. Now no bingo, but Link was best, even though there were some. Elk was the highest scoring one, but that Rackley far better than that one, hence the improved equity score. Not a great rack for opponent, but he spots the top play there with Fag. No bingo. Beano the best. And then Haji for 45. Top score there for opponent. No bingo here, but getting close. Soup for 36. That's not bad at 12K. SOOP. Yeah, that's not bad since I have the extra S to hook on to afterwards. Oops, I don't like because that's just way too volatile, leaving an S in the trip lane. Speos, that's not one you see every day. 12I. SPEO, that's really nice. Keeps it tight and scores fantastically. So yeah, Speo not good without the S, I don't believe, but I'll check that later. So I went with Shu just to keep it tight. An opponent that had a massive 48-point comeback. It's just a bit unfortunate for me. And then Imposts, that's the one that pluralizing Haji and queer. Wow, that would have been the play. Imposts, huge. Photism also big, but that is the play. Imposts, just transposing the blank for either play. I went with op times for 83. Opponent had a massive 75-point play here, which cancelled out the bingo. And then Taddy for 36. Tadpole. TADDIE. That's what I was. I think I tried. No, I tried another word, IE, but that was on a different rack. Sometimes the Y ending can be changed for the IE, but it's just, really hard to know all of them. Teddy was best. I went with dined. Then, Yeti for 26 was opponent down the bottom, which gave me... Oh, Mangs would have been better. Of course. And that's a word I know, with a perfect rack leave and a better score. So I rushed... I did rush Mast. Mangs was the play there, so that's a miss. Now, opponent's close to a bingo. Juarez for 34 on to the Z. And look how close the scores are at this stage. Opponent goes with raw, takes a little bit of a lead, plunges in a couple of different spots. I did identify the 11A spot, but I just thought it just gives back an easy 30, possibly 40-point play. So I played the kind of safer spot, because this H1 down is a little bit trickier to form a parallel play with. It does give a few floaters for bingos, so that's a negative aspect of the move, but I just thought on the weight of it, a P floating in the trip lane, just, with the Y unseen and a H unseen, because there are a lot of words ending in PY and PH, so that could have been a 50-point play. So anyway, that was my thinking. Tripwire comes down, and I guess if I played it here, opponent would have had a massive 9-timer, so actually it would have been about 200 and something points, because the W would have got doubled plus the P. That would have been an absolute monster play, game, set and match. So luckily I played it where I did. And then Hongied, the only playable bingo. Glad to have spotted that for 98. Opponent now does need a bingo to win. None available on this rack. Goes with Rory, which was the top play. And then club for 26 was 12C, but for reasons previously mentioned, I decided not to play down the left bottom quadrant. I thought this U and N were the danger tiles, because if I can restrict any bingo plays, I win the game pretty much, because opponent doesn't have scoring tiles. So that was my thinking there. I was happy to score no points at all just to block those two, and I think it was right. Lotta for 26 was the most opponent could manage here, which would not have been enough. Would have brought it close, actually. Where was K4? K4. Oh, Lotta and Azoic. And then opponent goes out with IE and catches me with one of the heavyweights, because I still would have had... I wouldn't have had Breve, because Lotta would have blocked Breve. So that could have been an interesting end game. If opponent plays Lotta, that puts him on 400 and... probably not enough, because I'm bound to score with Cobb. Nah, not enough for him to win there, but would have brought it a bit closer. Breve for 26 was best, and then Lot for 14, Guild for 18. There were no outplays, were there? Yeah, it was just Lot, and then Eco, Coal, Rock. Those were the outplays for 5. So that was the end of the game. Pretty close at the end there. A bingo would have probably won it for opponent, or brought it very close, the end game. Hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.